All right, let's go on a bit of an expedition today. We're going to be using a map created by the psychologist Carl Jung. And our destination? Well, it's the hidden inner world of the human mind. It all starts with a really fascinating puzzle.
Think about this for a second. Why do we see stories about a great flood, or a hero who saves the day, or a wise old mentor figure popping up in ancient myths and modern movies, in cultures that never ever communicated? I mean, how is that possible? Jung had an incredible theory. The answer isn't out there in the world. It's deep inside all of us, in a hidden layer of the mind that we all share.
But before we can get to that deep, shared layer, Jung says we first have to understand the parts of our mind that are totally unique to us. You know, the stuff that's just beyond what we're thinking about right now.
Jung called this first layer the personal unconscious. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant personal filing cabinet in your brain. Every single thing you've ever experienced, every memory, every forgotten thought, it's all filed away in there. It's not in your conscious mind at this very moment, but with a little digging, you could pull it out. It's your personal history, packed away.
But here's the thing. Our minds aren't just messy storage units. That internal filing system is actually pretty smart. It naturally starts to group related things together. Memories, emotions, ideas, they all get sorted by a common theme.
And that little cluster of feelings and memories, that's what Jung called a complex. It acts kind of like a gravity well or a magnet, pulling all related thoughts towards a central idea. So, for example, someone with a power complex might find that their thoughts, their ambitions, their behaviors all seem to orbit that one theme, often without them even realizing why. It's all happening just under the surface.
Okay, so we've explored our own personal mental attic, but now we're going deeper. We're heading down into the basement of the psyche, a level that Jung believed connects every single one of us. He called it our species' psychic DNA. And this is Jung's most famous, most mind-blowing idea, the collective unconscious. See, this isn't your history, it's our history. He proposed that every human is born with a kind of psychic inheritance, a shared foundation built from the experiences of our ancestors, all the way back through human history. Jung put it this way: the form of the world into which a person is born is already inborn in him, as a virtual image. So what does that mean? It means we don't show up as a blank slate. We arrive with a kind of blueprint for what it means to be human, already installed.
Now, this is a super important point. We don't inherit specific memories. So you don't inherit your great-great-grandmother's memory of a scary snake. No, what you inherit is the potential to fear snakes. It's a predisposition, passed down for millennia because, well, fearing snakes was a pretty good survival trait. The same goes for these other universal human things, like our built-in capacity to recognize a mother or face our fear of the dark. So if the collective unconscious is this vast, ancient stage we all share, who are the actors? Well, Jung called them archetypes. These are the recurring characters, the ancient patterns that show up on that inner stage.
Archetypes are basically the faces of those predispositions we were just talking about. They're these universal templates, like the hero, the nurturing mother, the idea of God, or the wise old man. They are literally the building blocks of our myths, our religions, our fairy tales, and even our own dreams.
Now, Jung believed there were countless archetypes, but he identified a few major ones that are really central to shaping who we are. So let's meet some of the key players on our own inner stage.
First up, we have the persona. This is your public mask. It's the you show at work or at a party. It's the role you play to fit in and get along in society. And look, we all need one. But Jung gave a really important warning. If you start to believe that the mask is the real you, you're in danger of losing touch with who you truly are underneath it all.
Next, we've got a fascinating pair, the anima and the animus. Jung's idea was that we all have both masculine and feminine qualities inside us. The anima is that unconscious feminine side in men, and the animus is the unconscious masculine side in women. For Jung, becoming a whole, healthy person meant recognizing and expressing both of these sides. It's all about balance.
And now, for the most powerful, and let's be honest, the most famous archetype of them all, the shadow. This is the dark side of your personality. It's the mental container where we shove everything we don't like about ourselves. Our primitive instincts, our greed, our anger, all the stuff that society tells us is bad or evil. But here's the massive twist with the shadow. It's not just the source of our darkness. It's also the wellspring of our vitality, our spontaneity, our passion, and our creativity. If you try to completely suppress your shadow, you end up living a flat, boring, lifeless existence. So the goal isn't to kill it, it's to face it, understand it, and integrate its energy. Because if we don't, that darkness just gets projected onto other people. We start seeing the flaws we hate in ourselves in everyone else.
So we've got all these different forces pulling at us. Our conscious ego, our personal baggage, these powerful ancient archetypes. What's the point of it all? Well, according to Jung, our entire life is a quest for wholeness. And that journey is represented by one final, overarching archetype.
And that archetype is the self. The self represents the true center of your entire personality. It's the point of balance, the unifying force that brings all the warring parts of your psyche, the conscious and the unconscious, into harmony. For Jung, striving to connect with this self, to become whole, is the ultimate purpose of life.
But this journey to the self, it's not a weekend retreat. It's a lifelong process. It doesn't usually even begin until middle age, after the other parts of our personality have had time to develop. It demands that we confront our shadow, understand our persona, and really work to balance all those opposites within us. It takes courage and wisdom, and honestly, it's a goal we strive for our entire lives, even if we never fully get there.
So when you put it all together, Jung's map of the mind is so much more than just some old psychological theory. It's a guide. It's an invitation for every single one of us to take the most important journey there is, the journey inward, towards really understanding ourselves and becoming whole.
Which, of course, brings us to the final question for you. When you look at your own life, your dreams, your motivations, what archetypes do you see at play? Are you the hero on a quest, the rebel fighting the system? Are you confronting your shadow? What characters are directing your story?